So, have you ever wondered how much it costs to own a Cybertruck, and what do you have to even do to qualify to even get this truck that's almost over 100K? Well, it can be over 100K depending on how you configure it. Let's talk about it. Originally, I didn't really understand or know how I would kind of afford this as far as getting a loan. I'm not rich, full disclaimer, I'm not rich, and I don't have 100K to just throw on a car. I was really kind of, how would I say, I was really nervous about not getting approved, not due to my credit or anything like that, just because this is a large amount and I've never applied for anything like this outside of my house. So I was very nervous about that, but kind of figured they would give me the loan, considering my first Tesla was a little bit over 65,000. And typically how banks and lending works is however much you get loaned out the first time, typically if you do right by the loan and you do on-time payments and things like that, the next time you can ask for a larger amount and they probably would give it to you because it's more of a trust factor. So I kind of was going off of the premise of that. Also, I have 3 Teslas, so I'm deep into the ecosystem, and I figured worst case scenario, Tesla would at least finance me because I'm part of the family. Now, I do have the breakdown of the purchase order and some numbers that I think is very, very interesting as far as how much everything costs, and I spoke with my bank about a few hypotheticals as far as down payments. I was approved for the full amount, so I technically don't have to put a down payment, but I don't want this crazy car note, so I'm definitely gonna put a down payment on. That's really up to you how much you wanna put down. I'm kinda in between, I guess, 5 and 20,000 right now. And even then, the payment is still gonna be in the thousands. Now, that's not uncommon when you're dealing with a vehicle that's over 100,000. If you do the math, if you take 100,000 and just cut interest rate out of it, and you divide that by 72 or 60, you're gonna be at somewhere around 16 to 1,500 no matter what, and that's with no interest. So with interest involved and stuff like that, you can expect to be anywhere from 1,100 to 1,600 when dealing with a vehicle that's almost or over 100K. So I have a few photos that I'm gonna put on the screen, and the first one is going to be the motor vehicle purchase agreement. So as you can see, the Cybertruck all-wheel drive, that's the one I have. It starts at $79,990, and that's just the base price. Then you have a destination fee of almost about $2,000. I have my order fee of $250. I also have my previous order fee of $100 because I got my reservation about 2 years ago. So I have 2 of those, and the reason that is, I will tell you in the end. So the grand total comes out to $82,235. With that, that's what I'm paying before taxes, and that's how much the car is gonna cost me before taxes. So with the taxes, that's gonna vary state for state. So just check your state taxes, and then if you wanna know an estimate of what you're gonna pay, you can just multiply your state taxes times the 82,000 that I just showed you on screen. So now let's break down the total cost. That includes taxes, licensing, all that good stuff like that. So as you can see right here, you see my base price of $82,235. So I did get the referral program or the loyalty program because obviously I have other Teslas, and I had to go through a loophole to even get that because I made my order well before Tesla was doing the loyalty program for the Cybertruck. But if you get the correct representative, all you have to do is call them, and what you can do is you have to place another order, right? So you place another order, spend another $250, and they're gonna put your old order on hold, and then because it's on hold, once you place the new order, they're gonna just transfer all your information to the new order so that you don't lose your place in line and that you don't get pushed back to a later date of getting your car delivered. So that's what I had to do. The representative from Tesla literally just transferred my information to my new order, and it made me eligible to get $1,000 off. And like I said, when you're dealing with a car that's almost or can be over 100,000, every little bit counts. And hell, I have 3 Teslas, and I feel like I definitely deserved and should get that $1,000 off. But that's the only way to get it. Otherwise, if you ordered before, I believe, what was it, October 24th, you can't get the loyalty program for the Cybertruck. So as you can see, I got the $1,000 off, and that brought me down to $81,235. Then from that point, we have $8,854 in taxes. Now that brings my total to $90,000, right? $90,089. Plus I have a registration entitlement fee of $257. You add that on, I'm now at $90,347.37. And they're gonna subtract my transport fee, which is, I believe that would be my order fee that you put down for the car in the beginning, right? So they're gonna use that, put it on the total of the car, and that brings me down to a grand total of $90,097.37 for my all-wheel drive Cybertruck. Now, when looking at that, it is very intimidating. It is very scary. So I spoke with my bank and we kind of threw a few hypotheticals out there. And like I said, I was approved for the entire loan. So if I kind of didn't want to, I could not put a down payment down and, you know, just take whatever payment I have and then, you know, rock out like that, right? But if I didn't put a down payment down, I'm not gonna really say my interest rate, just because I actually don't know it. We kind of just throwing numbers out there. I can't remember my interest rate, but it's not too high. It's not high at all. So if I didn't put anything down with a $90,000 car, I would be somewhere around, I believe $1,537. I believe that's what they told me. And then the guy from my bank basically explained to me that for every $1,000 you put down is roughly like $20 off of your note. So you do the math. And so if I was to put $15,000 down, I'll be somewhere around high $1,100 to mid $1,200 as far as the payment goes. So that's kind of my price range right there. It's anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000, and depending on the actual note difference, it's going to really sway me to put more or less down. And like I said before, I'm not rich. I'm not doing a trade-in. And one thing about Tesla, if you do a trade-in towards a Tesla, whatever the trade-in value is, they will knock that off your taxes. So for instance, if you have a $30,000 trade-in, and it doesn't have to have equity in it, but let's just say they give you $30,000 for your trade-in, they're gonna take the tax percent of your state, multiply that by your trade-in value, and they're gonna take that off your taxes. I think $1,200 a month for me is perfectly fine, and plus the amount of content and amount of things that I'm gonna do with this truck, I'm hoping that it can pay for itself. But even if it couldn't, $1,200 is definitely affordable for me. I know for a lot of people that might sound crazy, and it is an expensive car note, but for the Cybertruck, I love it, the family loves it, and it is something that I want. I don't treat myself to nice things all the time. I handle business, I'm about business all the time. So also, being in the Tesla ecosystem does help a lot. I did get financed through Tesla, but I decided to go with my bank because they had, actually Tesla gave me a lower rate, but they wanted a larger down payment. And I just kind of wanted to have flexibility with how much I put down, just because I want to, keep some money in my pocket. And like I said before, I'm not too worried about the rate, but that is how much it's going to cost to own this car. I would say anywhere from $1,100 to $1,500, and that's with a $20K or less down payment. So do what you will with that information. I hope I was able to show you guys and tell you guys and give you guys some insight on what it costs to own a Cybertruck and what the monthly cost can look like. Now, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn those noties on because delivery day is coming soon. And low key, I believe I'm the youngest person in Washington that will have a Cybertruck. So that's pretty exciting. So yeah, that's pretty exciting, and I'm super stoked, and I can't wait. And I'm working with some amazing companies on accessories and things like that. So I got a lot in store. Stay tuned for that, but make sure you turn those noties on. Until next time, peace, love, we out.